said, but when we went to break, that I'd have the numbers. $12 trillion of quantitative easing. And basically, this created a situation where simply put, when you have $12 trillion of brand new money printing taking place, that's going to bleed through in the regular economy. It's going to send everything up. Now, it did stabilize the economy. Once you go into a deflationary spiral, folks, there is no way out of a deflationary spiral other than war or a complete change of the system. Those are your two options. And we've been down the war track in World War I, too. So, anyways, I don't want to detour us from what we're talking about here, which is coming back to Trump and this current period. So there's going to be lots of protests in the next 48 hours. I'm going to be thoughtful about this. The best thing you can do in these protests, before we get to Trump's agenda here, the best thing we can do is have demands. Whether it's tax the rich or it's any sort of things, have a clear demand of what you want to see happen. So if you're going out and protesting tomorrow, have demands to place on the Trump administration. It is so crucial that you say something or you support something. Very crucial. And so anyways, that's my hope, is that you will have demands when you're out there protesting. Okay, so this coming split. Basically, there is an element of politicians, and they work within the CIA and FBI. They're not completely. There's a splits within those groups, but they are called neoconservatives. Now, for some of you may have read something on neoconservatives. I'll just be very, very blunt. Neoconservatives are like hyper-Americans. They are completely about America carrying the big stick across seas. They want to go to war at some point with Russia. They are just militant, phobic, and they've been basically running things for, whether it's been Obama, Clinton, the Bushes. Basically, they've been running things since Carter. They have influenced public policy to an extreme, and they've been very effective. But they too don't have an answer to the economy. So they don't like Trump because Trump is sounding on some level a protectionist period, meaning that he's like, hey, look, I'm America first all the way, and I don't care, we're going to strike the best trade deals, period. And that's been Trump's whole MO. Now, keep in mind that Trump didn't make his money in finance capital. Quite the opposite. Trump came from real estate, land deals, all that type of thing, along with all the myriad of businesses that he slapped his name on. So for whatever you want to criticize Trump for, he was trying to build things and do things in a traditional way. The problem is that as the move to finance capital took place, his infrastructure that supported him and many people like him plummeted. So that's why you started seeing Trump on TV. That's why he took TV shows, because he wasn't getting the lucrative type of deals necessarily that he was before. So that civil war is going to take place, is that Trump's vision and the neoconservative vision are completely at odds. And that's why you're going to continue seeing shit leak out from the FBI, from CIA, from different spots. You're going to continue seeing stuff. So this is going to be an interesting conflict. Now, you as a progressive person who I'm appealing to, you shouldn't care about this civil war that's going to take place. What I mean by that is there's no one to root for. What I've been scared of seeing, and I've seen in the last 2 months since the election, is that people have got on this Trump, Russia-hating bandwagon. Even I've fallen prey sometimes to it, bluntly. But the danger, and this isn't about being pro-Russia or anti-Russian, the danger is that is fundamentally a neoconservative talking point and talking line, because they don't want, their big beef with Trump is they don't want America to take its eye off of Russia, because there is an extremely strong chance that as the economy worsens, that Russia could be going through another regime change possibly. And the U.S. basically pilfered the Russian treasury when Lawrence Summers and many of those folks were around. So anyways, I'm off in definite tangent land. So I just wanted to highlight that don't get swept up in who to vote for or whatever. So now, at about 20 minutes in, with about 25 minutes of show left, let's get into the Trump agenda. Okay, so I broke this up in a pretty practical way. So this is the first 100 days of Donald Trump. And I broke it up into these things. I tried to look at this not as a revolutionary or as a socialist or whatever. I tried to look at this as an American, meaning these are things that from the average American, the working class American, could either get behind or maybe they should reject or whatever. So this is stuff, items that Trump has promised to do in this first 100 days. And basically my categories is it good for the country? If it's good for the country, we can kind of see this. Tepid support. It sounds good on paper, but I'm not 100% sure of what Trump is actually getting at here. Bullshit. That's a category. So bullshit is just basically like, look, this is BS, but if this gets jammed down our throat, then we can still deal with it. And then finally, the last category is the elected Democrats better filibuster or organize a fight. These are like toe in the sand, no justice, no peace, let's go. Okay, so let's start positive, right? Because, some people are saying, well, I really want Trump to be successful because if he's not, we're not successful. Okay, well, let's get you out of the clouds. That's okay. Good for the country. There is only one item of Trump's agenda that I saw that was probably legitimately good for the country. A 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials becoming lobbyists after they leave government service. There's been multiple abusers of this. The one that comes to my mind is Tom Daschle, leaves Congress and goes to work for a big pharmacy lobby. That was pretty bad stuff. Okay, so that is out of all of Trump's first 100 days. That is the only thing that I could say, okay, this is bad. Okay. So this is now, so with that area, so we know that Trump's only thing that I could see that was worthy of support is that now we are going to look at issues that are tepid, but we need to see the details. So these are things that, in theory, you go, I could support, but what's kind of going on here? There's a yellow caution flag. A complete ban on foreign lobbyists raising money for American elections. Not terrible. Not terrible at all, but I do. My big concern out of that idea is that basically we raise money and we go the United States goes into countries and screws with their elections all the time. So it's just something that it makes some sense. There's some sense. You don't want foreign countries to jump right into your election process. But there's definitely some concern there. He will announce his intention to renegotiate NAFTA or withdraw from the deal under Article 2205. Now, another yellow flag. I don't know what is the better deal that Trump really wants. That's a big issue, is that this is causing me to rethink about trade. Trump's a right-wing guy. He's right-wing, pro-business, anti-worker guy. How many times do we need to see videos? So it's not like we're going to see a better deal. So I am very interested. These are ambitious projects, and Trump has made completely ambitious statements to American workers. NAFTA has been an issue that many folks in labor have taken on and tried to work on. So this is an interesting thing. I got a yellow flag up because I don't trust Trump. But again, this might not be bad. This could easily move over into the good for the country. He'll announce his withdrawal from a Trans-Pacific Partnership. Again, another pretty thoughtful thing. That partnership deal, much like the other ones, America kept losing jobs. He's going to direct the Secretary of Commerce and U.S. Trade Representative to identify all foreign trading abuses that unfairly impact American workers and direct them to use every tool under American international law to end those abuses immediately. So again, this is another issue that's going to be popular, but the assumption here is that that basically that other countries this is going to cause retaliatory measures, and much like the other stuff of pulling out trade agreements and these other things, these are such big issues that cause retaliatory measures. It's not like the U.S. does this and it's not going to be retaliated against, and this becomes an open trade war. And the Offshoring Act establishes tariffs to discourage companies from laying off their workers in order to relocate in other countries and ship their products back to the U.S. tax-free. Again, we're talking about another issue that's going to prove incredibly popular, but the execution is what I want to see. All this stuff, by the way, that I've just said, these are things that could have came out of the American Federation of Labor, Congress of Industrial Organizations, known as the AFL-CIO. This all could have come out of their handbook. Affordable Child Care and Elder Care Act allows Americans to deduct child care and elder care from their taxes, incentivizes employers to provide on-site child care services, and creates tax-free dependent care savings accounts for both young and elderly dependents, with matching contributions for low-income families. You know, I don't know enough about that. I know that when you start leaving some of this stuff in the care of the private sector, which a lot of this is going towards, it does create a lot of problems. But again, it's all in the execution. It's all in the execution of how this stuff is going there. So all the things are there. I tepidly support. I should be clear that I have some concerns about the Affordable Child Care and Elder Care Act. I don't know if that's the best way, and I'm not really an expert to speak on this. The other stuff had to deal mostly with trade, and there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, America should get a better deal, blah, blah, blah. There is something wrong with the execution of it, meaning that is this stuff going to actually be for American workers, or is this stuff that actually isn't going to work because other countries will respond in kind, and you're going to have a global breakdown in trade, which will destroy and hurt American workers more than the current system. So here's something I'm going to call bullshit on. Okay. Something that again could be incredibly popular, but constitutional term limits. This was dead on arrival. He's never going to get that past the House and the Senate. It's dead on arrival. It's a waste of time even to talk about it, because you've got a bunch of multimillionaires who like being in positions of power. They're never going to go along with complete bullshit. This thing really hurts. A hiring freeze on all federal employees to reduce federal workforce through attrition, exempting military, public safety, and public health. Okay. Folks, do you know how stupid that is? That's really stupid. You accepting military, public safety, and public health. Well, we have many services that actually help. And the only place that you could really do something, a hiring freeze that would make sense, would be in the Department of Defense, but that's being specifically outlawed here. So, or not there. Again, I just call bullshit on. You don't call hiring freezes. Government oftentimes is the spark plug. Government has to invest. Now, if you want to do private-public partnerships that allows you to invest and then lets the market go compete, great. But when you pull out funds and revenue from the federal government to do the various things, and keep in mind the federal government's huge, it is really, really, really punitive. A requirement that this one's real bullshit. A requirement that for every new federal regulation, 2 existing regulations must be eliminated. Wow, that's pretty arbitrary, right? I mean, like, what if all 3 regulations are needed? So what Trump is doing here is basically what every business person's dream is they want to continue to have the ability to abuse the shit out of working people. This is dangerous. Those regulations are put in place for a reason. You don't just arbitrarily remove it. God, what a fucking numbskull. Anyways, a lifetime ban on White House officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government. Again, I'm calling bullshit on this because there's nothing necessarily wrong with a there's nothing necessarily wrong on anybody lobbying for anything. There's nothing wrong on it. A lifetime ban, it just